I'm just gonna go.
Gentlemen, you're now tuned into Naughty or Nice. Let's go.
Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal.
Shelly
Me don't want no
Line
fake love,
and
me
V
only
Love
want the
Bird.
real deal.
Have you ever met a sister with her shit together? Maintaining, never complaining, trying to make shit better. She's got a real good life with the right frame of mind. She's the real deal, baby, and she know how to grind. On the job or in the bedroom, baby, the truth. And with her by your side, homeboy, you can't lose. Just slip on the dress and go to work like a pro. Then bring that ass home and drop it down to the floor. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's a lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's the lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets.
Shelly Line and V Love Bird.
Shelly Line and V Love Bird.
Shelly Line and V Love Bird. Shelly Line and V Love Bird.
Shelly Line and V Love Bird.
Shelly Line and V Love.
Hey, hey.
Hey, Lisette.
Hello.
So tonight, y'all, we have a special guest with us. We have New Orleans in the building. Miss NL, y'all. She gonna help us out on this podcast while V gets herself together and get back in better health for us, y'all. She loves us so much she couldn't even. She missed y'all so much. She said, "I'm coming on here whether I'm sick or not." That's what you call a trooper, y'all. We gonna hold this show down.
Girl, stop.
Anywho, we gonna get this started the best way we know. Hey, Lisette. How you doing, baby girl? Thanks for being on tonight. We're gonna get this started, y'all. The topic tonight is: would you start a family with a man with money who is unable to read, basically illiterate, and unwilling to learn?
Who want to go first on this one? I'll go first.
Go first.
Um, Depending on how much money he got, we can buy his ass a tutor, and I don't mind reading for him. Okay.
See, I knew she was gonna say something crazy, y'all.
No, for real, because people get it misconstrued. People think when you say a person is illiterate and they can't read and all this, that doesn't mean the person is not intelligent. And it also, like we were talking about earlier, it depends on the era they came up in. Because, a lot of people back in the day had to quit school to help families raise the kids in third, fourth, fifth grade. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
But, like I was saying earlier, a person like that knew how to make some money. Knew how to
Yeah.
make some money.
And
So
Miss NO made a good point earlier when we was talking outside of the set. I'm gonna let her say what she was saying about that.
What I said about my feed on it is that, like back in the days, like she said, a lot of people didn't graduate, they didn't finish school, they didn't go past elementary
hmm
school. I think that a lot has to do with also about skills,
hmm
because you don't have to read to have skills or talent, right? So,
right.
like, most of the men back in the days were hands on. Like, they did
hmm
construction, they worked in the at the on the for the
Railroad and all that kind of stuff.
railroad and
hmm
the refineries. Those people had good jobs, because if you talk to any one of them right now, they like, oh, I retired, I worked for the railroad, or I retired, I was offshore, or something like that. So you didn't have to have the skills um to get that money. So I don't remember exactly what I said, Shelly. So you have to remind me, because I said a lot.
Yeah, she was just basically saying how back in the day people couldn't read.
Yeah.
People it was that they didn't have how black people really didn't have the opportunity to learn how to read. So their
And
wives
even
had
now.
to show, but they knew how to
Yes.
count their money. Even sometimes now, how people I don't sometimes situation may be where you cannot learn how to read. You don't know what people's circumstances is basically, and maybe you have to be one of them women that's step up to the plate and run the whole shebang. But a lot of times people could not know how to read, not know how to do a lot of stuff, but they still know how to count their paper.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And I believe that a lot of women back in the days did run their households, because the
Yeah.
fathers was out working.
hmm
Or then you had a lot of fathers that went to the military. You had a lot of people that that didn't graduate from school or anything, but they did go to the military to take care of their families. So they
Mhm.
learn a lot of skills in the military, Um, so a lot of women ran their houses for a long time. They took care of the children. All the man was the breadwinner. He brought home the money, sent the money home, and she pretty much ran the household. You know,
It probably
back
wasn't
in the
required, basically.
yes, yes.
Well,
So
that wouldn't be a deal breaker for me
it
personally,
wasn't definitely
because
like
like I said, um whether a person can read or not doesn't dictate their intelligence, because you can learn life lessons that put you way over the top somewhere else, as opposed to somebody worrying about whether or not you can read or write. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So
Right.
that's the old cliche, you can't judge a book by its cover. Now you have some that need to know how to damn read, cause listen, you be like, listen, dude, what the hell you talking about? And you just be completely lost. And just because they have money, they think, that makes the world go round. They don't have to do nothing else.
Right. I agree with that. I agree with that. So it's just a bigger picture of what kind of man is it. You can have a man that have a lot of money, he don't know how to read, but like I said, he's a good provider. Then you can have one that don't know how to read and then wanna know everything and always messing up stuff, making decisions that's hurting the family, that's not benefiting the family. So to me, it's more than just not knowing how to read. There's a lot of other things that can go with that, but not knowing how to read wouldn't be no deal breaker for me either. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
care if you don't
wouldn't.
know how to. I wouldn't care. It's more how you treat me.
Okay,
You,
so let me play devil's advocate, right? So you got a
uh-huh.
man, he can provide, but he can't read. And
Hmm.
say you're on a lot of medications and he got to give you your medicine. That's when the shit counts, and they need to know how to read. Because instead of them just giving you something, may give you the wrong dose, may give you the wrong medicine, period. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's things that you
No,
have to actually look at and take into consideration when you say that.
that mean that you have to sit there. They have all these different pill boxes now,
Yeah.
right?
I
And
say
you put your
hypothetically
2
in the
o'clock.
devil's advocate.
You better put some colors on there.
What if
Then
he
if
don't
you don't
know
know his damn
colors?
colors, oh
No, I
shit,
said,
that's
what if he don't know
bad.
his damn
Well,
colors?
maybe I might get something that he's familiar with. Do you know what a damn hammer is? Let me put the hammer on the one I gotta take for 12 o'clock. Let me
No,
put something else.
I'm gonna put the
Like
hammer on your ass if you give me the wrong medicine.
I don't think he be giving me no damn medicine. I ain't gonna lie to you. He can't give me no damn medicine if he can't read. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to tell you, that's just not.
And most of them, and listen to me, most of the people that really are illiterate, they will get away from stuff like that. They won't have
Yeah.
nothing to do with nothing that has to do with reading. They will get away
Right.
from that. They will not, like my grandfather, he would get away from a lot of stuff that had to do with reading.
I would think that people that couldn't read would avoid reading a lot. I'm gonna hit up
Yes.
somebody's comments because they'll be strolling in. The set said I'm
Okay.
doing it, so happy to catch up. She said hell no, and I'm assuming you're saying hell no that you wouldn't date somebody that couldn't read.
Mhm.
Alonzo said vice versa. The set said you're right. Kimberly said, hey Vaughn, hope you feel better. Nope, man
Thank you,
hard
Boot
enough.
Sexy.
She said nope, man hard enough to deal with without them not knowing how to read, right? Ross
Mhm.
didn't say, I mean, I don't know his name, I don't know how to say it. She said, even if you have a skill to make money, you can also you can also pay for to educate yourself. Basically, that's what I say you can. Um, Abba said good night. Hey Shell. Hey, Abba, nice to have you back on the pod. We haven't seen you in a minute, Abba. Where you been, baby? Abba said reading is necessary if one can listen and
Hold
follow
on.
directions.
Yeah, I agree with him.
Yeah. Hold on.
Um, Alonzo says you got to look forward to the future. I'm gonna have to mute him because I can't hear over him.
Yeah.
Um, Alonso said you got to look to the future. If they can read or write, more than likely they're going to lose the thing they have eventually. Um, and I think all of that makes sense. I think if you have this is my thing. So just say you have a lot of money and you can't read. Why wouldn't you want to learn though? That would be my problem. Like, why? It's different if you grew up back in the day, and it'd probably be hard because the people that grew up back in the day are probably older now. They probably don't got no use for it. But when you are, just say you meet somebody, they 40, 42, and they can't read. Why wouldn't you want to learn how to read at that point? Like, and if you have the money to educate yourself, why would you just still be like, nah, I really don't want to read though. I just want to just
it's like the old thing, you know, right? You can't teach a old
dog the tricks. Right.
I think that, like, if you've gone so long without reading, like, it's easier for a child to learn how to read because they're like little sponges at that age. They're learning everything. So if you've been all your life and not knowing how to read, right, and you learn whatever so many other ways, like, it's I think it's hard. Just like for you, like, say for instance, I'm 46 years old. It's gonna be hard for me to learn another language.
Right.
It's not gonna be that easy for me to learn can I do it? I probably can. But you know what? It's not gonna be easy. I probably learn that language in about 10 more years, and guess what? I'll probably be in a damn wheelchair. Barely could walk at that damn time. So like, I'm not trying to learn how to read. You know, I'll probably be with that group where I don't want to learn. This been working for me just fine. And either you're gonna roll with me or you're not. This is what I got going on. It's like anything. Like, I don't think one thing can balance off another.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But then
you're always gonna deal with something, right? You ain't gonna find nobody that's perfect.
That learn better not reading. You ever hear, like, you go to a job and they'll say, like, do you learn better looking at somebody do something, or do you learn better by visual? Or do you learn? Some people don't learn. Like, I'm not one. You can't sit with me long because I'll get antsy. Like, I can't sit and watch somebody all day just be on a phone, or I have to touch it. You know, I have to touch it.
Your hands on.
So I can't just sit there and listen, because after a while I'll be like, okay. It's like me being in class. I'll be like,
you got the visual learner, the kinesthetic learner, the hands-on learner. So they got different learners. A man should always be willing to better himself as a real man. Why? If he's not willing to learn how to read, he's not a good man. He's not a real man.
But you know,
that's a double.
Right. Not to cut you off, but it could be too that some people, it's just hard for them to learn, especially in a classroom setting. Now, just because they can't read, and like you said, instructions, and you explain something and they get it. I mean, they get it.
Right.
That's why now all the manuals have, if you go online to a lot of manuals, they have video. I mean, audio. That's why they have the audio, because everybody's not going to learn just reading.
Same way.
Everybody learns differently. And like me, I'm a visual person. I have to see. You know what I mean? I mean, I can learn any type of way, you know, whether I'm reading it, somebody telling me verbally, or, you know, I'm hands-on, but I prefer hands-on because you're still going to learn something different if you're hands-on as opposed to reading about it and doing it. You know what I mean? That's just like people that run these corporations. They run these businesses, but don't know how none of this shit work on the floor at the businesses. They just behind it, and they can tell you what you need to do. But if they had to do your job, they don't even have a clue, and they got to get one of the employees that they have to train them because they don't know that side of it, even though they created it. You know what I'm saying? So just because the person can't read, you know, they're intelligent and smart in so many other ways a lot of times.
Right. I agree with you.
I would say one of the most influential men in my life didn't go very far academically. Nevertheless, he is, in my opinion, more intelligent than many of these college snowflakes. And I agree with that.
That's true. A lot of times it is. You know why? Because when a person can't read, they tend to pay attention more to detail.
Right.
You know, so as a person, you know, like we may read something and glance over and be like, oh, and miss all types of shit. But if you're telling a person who can't read, they're going to hear every single thing that you said about whatever that topic is or that subject is or how to fix this or that. And they're going to get it right the first time, 9 times out of 10. We're going to read it, but we're going to have to go over it about 10 more damn times.
Right.
You know,
so that doesn't mean he doesn't know how to handle his business. And we said that, Jerry. It doesn't mean he can't read. Yeah. I think where I differ is if if you can't read, like, I know what Miss No said. If you can't read and you just don't want to learn nothing, I don't understand. If you have the money and you have the means, why would you not want to just try to learn a little bit? Like, how do you look if your kid comes here and go, "Mama, can you help me?" or "Daddy, can you help me do this?" and you go, "I can't help you with that because I don't understand it."
Well, maybe he can't help him with reading, but maybe he cannot account. I help you with your math. Your mama can help you with your reading.
Right. You got compromise.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to compromise. And again, like I said, it's not easy for everybody. Some people
Right.
can't have. That's just like a person normally that's really super book smart has no common damn sense.
Woo,
No street smarts, no common sense. They just know the book and that's it. But anything else, if you take them in the streets, they're gonna be fucking lost.
And don't know what to do.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people like that.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like that too. They just don't have no damn common sense. Just smart, like just smart. What you so smart for? You just like in other ways you could be dumb as a rock because you don't know life. You know what I'm saying? And life teaches you lessons that you ain't gonna learn in no damn book. I don't care how well you read.
And be quick to say, I got a master's degree.
And
you know that because shit, what you just said is not stupid as hell.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't learn that. They didn't teach you that because some things they can't teach you in school. I'm sorry.
That's what I just said, right? Some things is just not in the book. You can't. I don't care. You can't make the shit up. You have to go through it in order to know it, learn it, and know how to avoid it or know how to conquer whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
What happens if your kid says to you, "Well, my dad don't know how to read. Why I got to learn?" What do you say?
You be better than your daddy is. Because the ultimate goal as a parent is you want your kids to be better than you and exceed whatever you did. Yeah. And then the mama probably trying to throw shade at the daddy.
Your daddy can't read.
No,
and then they look at you and say, what was you with him for then if he couldn't read? Then that opens a floodgate of questions.
Right. Like somebody told me before, I was like, look, I don't want my children going around here having no children everywhere, here, there, and out of wedlock and stuff like that. And I don't care if he is 20. Let him wait to have a child, right? Oh, well, you ain't say that when you did it. Damn, just because I did it, I'm going to tell my children to do the right damn thing. Because I had a baby at 18. I want my daughter to have a baby at 18. I'm trying to break generational curses. I'm not trying to let my children be like me. I want my children to be better than me. And even though I don't think I'm bad.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Hello?
Yeah.
Somebody told me that. Somebody told me, well, how you going to tell your child that and
Yeah. Mind their business. That's what you should tell them. You need to mind your business. That's my child.
That's right.
Yeah.
Crazy. Exactly I don't know how people think like that,
People always trying to tell you something, how to do something, how to raise somebody, honey. People need to
sit down. Your significant other can't read and you're not there to help the baby or the child with the homework and they be like, oh, daddy help me. You be looking like, oh shit, my baby finna get an F because daddy don't know shit.
Because for one thing, you already, the child may not know, but you as the person that's with that person know that your man, either you help them before you leave or you get somebody to come there and help you, get your tutor or whatever. Just sure that you get your business in order because like my grandmother used to keep my children. She couldn't help the children with the new homework. So what I did was got somebody to come to my grandmother's house and work with my children and do their homework and then leave them. So she could work for the rest of the day.
Right. I'm saying that to say, and I'm saying that to say if that parent is there and the other one is not there, and to save face in front of their child, they trying to help knowing that they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Or trying to shield from their child that they can't read. That's why I say, and you go to, you go to work. Or my uncle did that shit one time to me and my cousin. He said, "Shut up with y'all dumb ass," and helped us with our homework. When we got to school, all our shit was wrong.
Let me show you how it works.
And my sister came say, she said, "You let Uncle CB dumbass help y'all with y'all homework," but we was young.
Y'all didn't know that. But you know what? Like,
was wrong.
Alma said, "Shell, maybe ego prevents one from being willing to learn. Maybe it's laziness. However, if it is laziness, then this would be manifested in other areas." I agree, Abba.
True that.
The questions for you, honey, on the screen, Miss No. You gotta read that
She
loud.
said, "Do you want your children to be
Oh,
better than you?" Define better.
better is just make better decisions than I did. So like because back in the days, your parents wasn't telling you nothing about sex, telling you nothing about life. They just said you better not kiss no boys, you're gonna get pregnant. You better not do this,
Mhm.
but never explaining to you the reason why they don't want you to do this, or the reason why you shouldn't have no child out of wedlock without the father being around, or the reason why. So what I'm saying is like I don't think I did bad. I think I
Mhm.
did pretty good, well for myself. I went to college, I graduated, whatever. But I had a little struggle in the beginning
Mhm.
because of trying to be grown or whatever, thinking I'm grown or whatever. But when I had my child, then I started thinking about, dang, I
Differently.
got this little child now. So now, because I dropped out of school and stuff like that, right? I dropped out in the 12th grade. Crazy, but I dropped
Mhm.
out in the 12th grade. But after I had my daughter, I went back to school. I went back to night school because I started, like when I had my daughter, I started thinking, damn, what can I do? Because the biggest thing was back then is graduating from high school. It
Mhm.
wasn't even about college. It just was, you better graduate from high school. You ain't going to
Right.
be nothing. You ain't going nowhere. So I thought, I was like, damn, I got to go back and, um, get my diploma. So, when I say better, I'm just saying just making better decisions than what I did. Like
Mhm.
I got my degree in 2005. I had graduated
Better
since
late than never.
1994. So I went like I had a baby. So then I went back to school. I got my high school diploma. Then I go back to college. So I was in college from 94 to 2005 till I finished. You know why? Because I had to keep on dropping out because I had
Mhm.
one baby. Then turn around 2 years later, I had another baby. Then 4 years old later, I had another baby. So I had to get out because back then in them days, you missed 2 days, you flunked
It's
out of
over.
college. You had to
Life
Right.
start all the
Right.
way
happens.
over. You have to
Yeah,
take all
life
those classes
happens.
over with. So so when I say that, I mean just making better decisions, just doing it faster, doing it better, more
Right.
accurate, taking your time, letting you know. Because me, I thought my life was going to end like, damn, I got to do this at this age. I got to do that at this age. I got to do this. I got to do that. So
Right.
But
that's just it.
that comes from the era that our parents came from. But
Hmm.
they believed when you have a baby, your life was over. They
Over.
didn't have all the technology and assets and access to things that we have access to now. So if you got pregnant, your life was over
That's
according to
it.
them. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But again, I don't care what area you're in, it's all in what you want for yourself. And you
Right.
can't listen to what everybody tells you, because if you listen to what somebody tell you, you'll always be at a standstill.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then, like you say too, you got pregnant at 18, but even with that, we weren't educated on the sex stuff. My
No.
mama wouldn't talk about it. Oh, I had to talk to my sister, my older sister, and tell me about it, or read some erotica or some shit. And I'd be like, "Woo!" You know what I'm saying? So it was like taboo to talk about sex.
I
And see,
talk to
we
my
So
was
children
raised,
about it.
we was raised as Jehovah Witness, so we couldn't do nothing. It was everything. You talked about nothing, honey. You wouldn't talk about no sex. You wouldn't talk about no boys. You wouldn't talk about where you spend the night at. That was forbidden.
nothing strict.
That
Yeah.
it was just strict. My mother was like, "No, you don't need to know that." So by the time I got where I figured out, wait a minute, boys do have things, and they these things matter. I was
And
trying to
these
figure
things,
out all
some of them
that.
good.
I mean, this makes sense
Hmm.
to me. I was trying to find out everything because my mom was always like, "No, you don't need to know that. That ain't what you need to know." And for a
Hmm.
long time, crazy enough, this is gonna sound crazy as hell, but for a long time, I thought you were supposed to have sex with your clothes on. Like I thought you were supposed to only take off your panties. So for like the first year of having sex with me, I was like, just everything on, pull the panties to the side, and that was sex, and it was
So
great.
you was giving away some dry pussy,
You know what
dry,
I mean?
some
Because it
dry
was
rubbing.
when my sister was like, you ain't got to do all that. You ain't got to take up all that. I really learned. So I thought that was the way it was supposed to be. So
But
it,
you know what's? Go ahead,
That's a
Shia.
lot of
it's a
obstruction.
lot. No, it was
No,
no structure to the structure.
no, but I was saying that just goes to show you how, you know, And parents, they raised us kind of, if you didn't have common sense, to be stupid. Like, well, how did we get here if y'all wasn't fucking? Like,
I want to
you
put
know what
it
I'm
in
saying? Like,
for
but y'all can't talk about it, but y'all did it. And then, that's why
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer of, excuse me, of keeping it 1,000 with my kids, because I never wanted them to go out in the streets looking for something and somebody misinform them. I'm gonna
right.
Yeah.
tell them the truth, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. But if you shielding your child, you have those households that are super strict, and then when the child, especially your daughter, get out and get buck wild, starts fucking everybody and doing this and
Hmm.
doing that because she felt like she missed so much. She trying to catch up with. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's
Abba
okay. I'm gonna
said
meet
the
y'all.
reason why they shouldn't do anything wrong, that's simple. A whoop ass is awaiting. He's talking to you, He's just saying they should listen, like, period. They shouldn't be questions.
Well, listen to me. My children are 26, 24, and 20. And guess what? To the most part, they're good kids. And to the most part, like my son was making $75,000 a year. When I ain't never made $75,000 a year, he made it at 22. That's the kind of money he was making.
See,
So for that, and he had one child. He's engaged. My daughter, she don't have any children, and my 20-year-old, he don't have no children. So at the end of the day, they really surpassed what to me was like sort of a generational curse. Like
Right.
everybody having babies at 18, 17, 16. They surpassed that because I think my son had his baby at 23. And
mm-hmm.
and my daughter, she don't have a baby yet. She's 26
She
and my
got
son
plenty of
20.
time. But
Give it.
Yeah.
too, it's like
And they went to college. All of them graduated from high school. So look,
But did you grow up? Was your mother like, if you had friends and they got pregnant, they stopped you from hanging around them right then?
Oh yeah.
I never
My
had
mom
no
was
friend.
like that.
I didn't have no friends that had no baby. I was the first one out of all my friends to have a baby. My friends had babies at 20 something. So I wasn't no follower. I just was doing what the hell I thought was,
One did it
you know,
right, made sense to
looking for
you.
love in looking for love in all the wrong places. That's what it is. Trying to find that love. You
Abba
know,
I
said, Abba said from Jehovah Witness to choking. Oh my, Abba go to hell. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
uh,
because I didn't know. When I learned it. Abba, I mastered the craft, but I had to figure it out. I had to figure it out on my own.
that's wonderful. I have a daughter graduate from college 5 months pregnant, and now she's working on a PhD. That's
That,
amazing.
that's
okay.
amazing.
Well, you
That's
know what?
determination. That's when you don't
The
let
young
anything
girls
stop
now are doing
you.
that. The young girls now are doing it, but back in the
And walking
day
across
for
the stage
us,
with their babies.
hmm
Uh-huh. And being like, look, I got it. Don't make a difference how I got it. Don't just because you have a baby don't mean it gotta cripple you.
Girl,
hello,
baby don't stop nothing. It may
mm-mm.
cause some challenges, but it don't stop anything.
Hmm.
If anything, it makes you
That's
grind
how they
harder because you have to provide for that baby.
Yeah.
if
Just
anything, it should. It should make you go harder. But
yeah,
sometimes people get
But people
lazy
get
and they just,
lazy,
oh, I got a baby and I can't do nothing
that's
because
an
my
or they
baby.
don't have a
excuse.
support system.
That's an excuse a lot of times.
And
They
it
don't
is.
want to do shit. And then they get on the system and they live there. They don't use the
Well,
system for what it's supposed to be used for, which is a stepping stone to help you do better. I'm
Hmm.
all for anybody getting the help that they need, but don't get complacent and stagnant and stay there. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like if you getting a check from social services or whatever the case, you're getting food stamps, all this stuff. Use that shit to your advantage. And while you're doing that, save up your money so you can get away from that, keep them people out your business and go on about your day. But people
This
get
was
lazy, they get dependent on that little bit of money, and
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, and they don't want nothing else because it's too easy. But I do
hmm
believe, this is a whole off topic, that if you're a single parent, I believe that they should supplement you some type of way, since your taxpayer money paying for these people that can actually go to work and ain't doing shit. That should be a
hmm
supplement for the missing parent, to me. That's what I think. Because if you work, and guess what? You paying for somebody else and they won't even help you, and they're using our tax dollars to help these other people.
hello.
Right.
I
Right.
agree
Right.
with that.
That's what I'm saying. You got to read this, girl. I'm struggling to see.
No, he said something about some numbers. I don't know. He talking about cash. He talking about Cash App, and
Uh,
he's selling something. I just took it out. I don't know what he's talking about.
oh, honey. Get on
He
up here with that now.
Jerry said, I have two daughters working on their PhD, and that's great, Jerry. You know,
Yeah, and they're young still, in their
and they
20s.
yeah, and they're still young. That's the irony of all this. You know, you can make a. He always said welfare is a nation killer.
It
Yes,
is.
people get stuck on it. You know, it's supposed
Well,
to
you
be.
know what? I ain't even gonna say that. It's the person that gets stuck on it.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, sometimes your circumstances just don't allow you to get off right then. But if you in the club every week and every time they bring a act to a club in your local city and you got a new outfit on, new shoes, lashes, your weave straight and all this, you can get your ass out and go find you a job and
Hello.
put that money back to the system and let them use it to help somebody else who really needs it too. You know what I'm saying? But then when you
Right.
see the kids look like damn ragamuffins.
And the mother
No,
Hello.
got weave down to her back because she done bought it with the
30
tooth got
inches.
somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it becomes like a bother. That's where anything becomes a bother for me. Like if you have one baby and you struggling, you go ahead and you have another one, you're still struggling,
Can't
and you go and
understand
have
that.
another one and you're still struggling. It's like, okay, when do you learn and say, okay, I can't, this ain't what it is, this ain't the answer, this ain't what I'm trying to do with my life. At some point a bell gotta go off in your head. But I think what happens now is a lot of these younger girls, young girls probably ain't got mamas. Mamas was single raising them, and they just figure like boys loving on them is the answer. I think that's what happens now.
Or um, not only that, they're being raised by grandparents.
You
Them
took the words
grandparents
out of my mouth.
old.
That's exactly what I was about to
Them
say.
grandparents is
Uh-huh.
old. They cannot run behind those children no more. That's why I gave up I waved the white flag. My son, my daughter have a daughter. You look, I can't watch them, baby. I can't watch, especially once they become teenagers. I can't. Shit, my coochie watching days is over with, baby. You gotta watch your own coochie. You see what
Uh,
I'm saying? I watched my daughter coochie. I watched that coochie as far as I could do while she was in my household because I couldn't take care
right.
of no baby. At
Right,
her
right.
But
15 years old, I'm already struggling with y'all. Y'all gonna bring another damn baby in my damn household? No.
no.
I gotta watch.
But
I coochie watched for many
pi-
years.
piggybacking on what you said, because I was just about to say the same thing. A lot of the problem is, and these kids is running rampant, is because they live in the grandparents to raise the kids. And
Mm-hmm.
for yourself as a grandparent, yeah, that the grandbaby get away with murder damn near with the grandparent. They
Hello.
ain't got time for that. Now,
That's how I
hey,
got
whoop out.
pregnant. That's how
Yeah,
I got pregnant at my
really.
grandma's house.
That's your
Yeah,
grandma.
See,
yeah. My grandma be asleep. I'm sneaking out
yeah,
the house.
You was
uh-huh.
gonna tell me
I'm
why your
sneaking out
grandma
the
was
damn
taking out.
house.
No, that's probably the one thing in my life I never did was have sex in my mom's house. I would always be
No, no,
like,
no.
all
I
right.
didn't have sex in her house. But that's why
You
I
just
got
slipped out.
pregnant from by my grandmother's house because my grandmother went to sleep at 6 o'clock.
You had the whole
So it's
house to
open
yourself.
duck
The
season.
whole
It's
house to
open duck
yourself.
season. That was the house that Jack built. You could go over
Right.
there and get out. You won't get away from your damn mama. All you gotta do is go up over there, and you
Yeah.
go over
See,
there and shit. You
And see, I didn't have the
you was
luxury. When I
home
had my
free.
first, my mama said, I ain't helping. You made it, take care of it. So I knew there was
That's what my mama
nobody
said,
giving me
honey.
money.
Look, my kids is 10 years apart because after that first one, I wasn't planning on having no more. My mama said, if you have it, you take care of it. She said, my grandmother told her sister when she had my cousin, she said, if you get another baby, you ought to be with that one in your arms because I'm not keeping
mm,
it.
Yeah,
You know what
you
I'm
know I ain't
saying?
get no help of mine, honey. I had to take them.
Yeah.
I was going somewhere, they had to go with me. If I was going down the block, they was holding on to my leg. She was like,
I,
I ain't helping. I ain't buying no milk. I ain't buying no coats. That's yours. That's
my
yours.
mama did. My grandmother did too. Well, my grandmother did watch my children for me to go to work,
my,
but that's it.
Yeah.
Only to go to work and only to go to school. If you got to go in the club, can't help you.
not at all. Girl, let me tell you about the club. I went to the club one time. My brother was babysit for me. This nigga called the club, had me paged, and said, come get your baby.
No.
Girl,
Oh my god.
he said, cause she cried all the time, girl. She might be and go to sleep, cry all day, sleep all of 5 minutes, and she wake up screaming, Nundy.
Uh-huh.
Girl, when I tell you my brother called and they done paged me in the club, he said, if you don't bring your motherfucking ass and get this baby, I'm gonna bring it to the club. I had to leave.
And you know how we used to do back in the day, Vaughn. We had to
Girl,
the daycare on
that
Pelican
was before I
Bay.
moved to Georgia. That was before I moved to Georgia and I be going out and shit. Girl, that nigga called the club and said, if she don't get out here, me and the baby gonna be outside the club in a minute. I had to leave.
Yeah, Janae said, "Woo, Shelly, this is a deep topic." In what way, baby? But you know that shit. You know, Vonna, we used to drop them off. We used to be like, Vaughn, we gonna go to this 24-hour
The
daycare.
24-hour daycare, we got two
We
for
gonna be
one.
back to get the babies before 2 o'clock. We used to be like, shit, because we didn't
Look,
have
2 for 1. Drop their ass off there, give them a snack and everything. Pick them up when you leave the club and go into the
and,
house.
and be done with it, y'all. I'm talking about seriously because there was no, my mom was like, no. I mean, I had to figure it out. Like
He
I
used to babysit.
she was
Well,
like, you do this, you raise that.
I told my daughter the same thing as my mama told me. Listen, that's your baby. I love him with my whole heart, but I keep him when I want to keep him, not when you want me to keep him. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I
And
feel
she
you with
meant
that one.
every, yeah, and she meant every word of that shit. Huh? She didn't play that.
Yeah, we came clean off the topic. Y'all. We talking about babies and raising babies and all this
Yeah,
above that.
but
Well,
anyway,
one
back to the
thing
topic
leads to
at
the other.
hand. It all kind of go, yeah, it all goes together. But yeah, some people. But I think for the most part that a woman don't care if a man can read or not because she looking at his wallet. She ain't looking at what he can read. That's a given. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
vice versa. Because have some women that can't read that well or can't read at
Right.
all too. So that
Right.
goes both ways. But like I said, that shouldn't be a deal breaker. And just because you can't read or you're illiterate does not mean you're not smart in other ways in other areas.
When you think about it, you look at right now the generation we have. A lot of these kids in high school get all the way through high school and be on football teams and basketball teams and can't
Because they
read.
need them. Yeah, they need them for sports. Because sports in high school is political.
Yes.
It's political. That's just like you have these boys that are like awesome football players. The scouts coming to watch them and everything, and they boost them up all through high school. If they get in trouble and have one incident or a blemish on their name, they throw them away like they don't even exist.
Right.
Right.
So, Janae, would you start a family with a man with money that was illiterate? That's the topic, honey. So, what's your thoughts about it, baby? What you think about the topic? So, yeah, well, I don't
Because
know.
what you marrying a man for?
You marry him for a lot of reasons, but I would think
None of it is reading.
not really, but you don't want him to know
Provider,
at all.
protector. I'm just saying. Provider, protector. You need somebody that's gonna be there through thick and thin. None of that have to do with reading.
Nothing. All right.
Yeah, well, if you look at it that
Because
way,
I don't give a damn if you're not a reader or not. When somebody come up in this damn house, I need you to protect what's got going on in here. And
Exactly.
when this damn
Protect
bill,
me.
when that light bill come here, shit, you don't have to read it. You know the damn numbers on there. You know that's 231. That bill. How much it is, babe? 231. Because I don't read nothing. I'm looking at the damn numbers. That's what
Okay.
I'm looking at. How much it is? My damn house no come here. Look, that $1,200. You need to have them damn $1,200. I don't give them damn if you don't know how to read jack.
What
You
if
know
he
them
come
damn
in?
think
numbers.
about it like that. Now, if you're looking at it that way, yeah, you're right, because you really
That's the
don't
truth.
know the
But
numbers.
look,
Don't
so
worry
what you
about
want him to
that.
do? What you want him to do? And if somebody, a burglar, come in, like, oh, you
I
can't go
want
down
him to
there and
whip
save
some
him.
ass and get that
Look,
damn
you
pistol and
can't,
knock him
you
on their ass and
you
stand in
can't go,
front of me.
you can't go down there and save us because you can't read. That's what you gonna say, nigga. If you
No,
don't get down
I
there
ain't
and pop
saying it.
their ass,
I'm
if you don't
telling you,
get out.
I'm welcoming his illiterate ass in my damn home if he a protecting provider and he gonna do the right thing. And there
Yeah,
ain't go that the reading don't have nothing to do with his action.
right.
what
Period.
action you talking
You
about?
know what action I'm
You
talking
know,
about. I'm
action she
talking
talking
about
about Action Jackson.
Yeah,
you don't
well,
need to know how to
well, he ain't really right.
work that stuff that he got up on
Right.
his damn body. He don't know how to,
Yeah.
he don't even know how to read that. He don't even got to see that. He can feel.
Oh,
Look, he gotta know how to do something. Well, yeah. I mean, but you
Come
don't.
on now. Come on,
You can't
Michelle. You
expect
gotta
to
be
get no
real.
cards. You can't expect to get no written letters. No, if you
I don't want no damn written letter. Tell it to me, baby.
for
Whisper
what?
them sweet nothings in my ear. Cause you don't read them damn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Put that in my ear along with paying them damn bills, boy. You don't turn me on.
I'm trying to tell you.
I guess
Shit.
that's one way to look at it, right?
No,
He
Etienne.
don't know how to read, and he go on waving that damn money. Oh, baby. Oh, shit. That's what the hell I'm talking about. You know nobody
She's
not really worrying about that.
She said, unfortunately, there are men that is secretive about their illiteracy.
That's what I was telling
Sometimes,
Cardi earlier.
sometimes the most powerful men we meet main weaknesses are reading and writing, especially if in the black community. That's
True.
any community, I think.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
is.
and it's also a pride thing. You
He
know
We
what I'm
see
see, I
this
saying?
see what
comment,
he's
Ethan. We see this comment. I just saw this one. Are you asking a question? Because I only saw you twice.
Yeah, so you can't. That's what I say. You just can't judge a book by its cover, and that wouldn't be a deal breaker for me, not at all, not in the least.
Mm-mm. All right.
Because regardless, somebody can teach you something.
Yes.
I
And
think
if you, but you have money already, so somebody have already taught you
taught you
something.
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 I
And
mean,
too, back in the day when these, people were quitting school to help take care of families, they couldn't read, but they learned trades. And trades, you didn't have to know how to read, really. You just had to know how to use your hands, fix things, make things, or whatever the case may have been. So you was required to know measurements, and that's what they knew. And that's how they knew how to count so well, too,
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't have to do all that reading and all that stuff because they just didn't know. And then they
Mm-hmm.
couldn't even read without, if they learned that they could read, they get killed or get beat to death.
Mm-hmm.
That's some crazy shit in itself. But
Yeah.
and there's a lot of people who read that's ignorant as hell.
yeah,
Yeah. You know what? Tell
all right.
me.
You said a mouthful right there.
But a person that can't read and then they're an asshole on top of that and don't know nothing, and that would piss me off. And I would never embarrass anybody, but don't come in my face with that crap if you know you ain't ready.
Orlando said, I dated someone who couldn't read. I used to text her that I was gonna be home late. And if she had a problem, text me back. She ain't never text me back. But she was always mad when I got home. Atlanta, you a whole fool.
That's a good one.
Oh, hey, Ethan.
You
We,
did you
Hi,
read my
Ethan.
Jay?
Hey.
Yeah, I read your text. What did it damn say?
Girl, it's way up there at the top. He
you,
said earlier, he was just listening. He wasn't commenting really.
okay,
He
so
just wanted us to know he's here.
okay. Well, we see you now. We didn't, I don't pay attention too much on the slide, so I got to be porting these things over because they look like little dots on my side. But yeah, I think now it depends on the person. It depends on the person that's coming after you, whether you want to take the time to say, okay, I know he can't never help me in certain areas, but his finances is good. I mean, you got to. I think a person, the individual, has to make up their mind when it comes to something like that. That's
I
what
think it's more attractive if he can't read and he lets you know that in the beginning, and he says, I may need your help from time to time because I have a little trouble when it comes to reading or something. At least let the person know. So if you're giving them something and or let's say you may be texting them and they're not responding back because hell, they don't know what you said.
But
Right.
how hard do you think? I mean, you think of how hard that would be for a man to come to a woman and be like, "Hey,
Yeah, it'll be hard.
feeling you, I like you, but I don't read all that well." And the average woman gonna probably be like, "Huh?" I mean,
I
really,
don't think so. I think it depends on how he's treating her from the beginning
if he
before
you go
he
to a
says that to
restaurant,
her.
he's taking you out and you trying to get something and you be like, help me get the order, baby, and you don't know he can't read, and then you looking at him and he's looking at the menu and trying to figure out what's going on here at the table.
If he was smart, he'd just ask the waiter or waitress to recommend something. Look at the menu like you can damn read and say, what do you recommend? Everything looks delicious. Shit, you don't know what it's like. So, just have them
Or do y'all
recommend
have any
something.
fish with this and that? Or do y'all have that? Because that's what of course, we got that, the island shit,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, something.
So,
You gotta know how to finesse your words and your
Yeah.
thinking.
because
Yeah.
you got a lot
And
of men that are street smart and dumb as a box of beans. I want to say dumb.
Yeah.
Some people just are street smart better than anything in the world, and they make themselves seem like they smarter than what they are when they really probably don't got a clue, but they bluffing their way through, just trying to not make you see that they ain't the brightest bubble in the bunch.
My mama used to say so smart to they damn stupid.
They stupid. I don't account my paper. You know what I mean? That's the average man out there. They be like, I'm about my money, honey. I don't need to learn how to read that big. It's a lot of celebrities that can't read worth a flip, but they pay.
It is.
I don't, I well. He said his ass always ordering chicken strips.
Orlando's so crazy.
Orlando, you stupid.
Abba said, did Orlando know she couldn't read at the time of his text messages? If he did, he's a real asshole. So that meant Abba said he was playing with her intelligence, knowing that she could read.
Knowing she couldn't give you answers.
Right.
Yeah, it would just be a challenge. I mean, you think about it. It would be a hard challenge, especially if you had kids and you're like, the load would fall on the mother. I mean, you would have to do everything when it comes to teach. But I think about it like this. Okay, let me take that back. Because nowadays, Jill would come home with some homework that I can't even wrap my head around. I'd be like, boy, you better get
this new homework, girl.
It's new.
You better get that homework out of here.
Even the elementary school math is like, you be like, luckily I know a little bit about it, but damn, this shit is like foreign to me almost now. Etienne said, Etienne, we said Floyd Mayweather earlier.
Yeah.
But there's a lot, like Shirley said, a lot of these rappers, entertainers, they have a good memory. It's how they rap their songs, but they're not writing anything because they can't read or fucking write. And they just good with memory. Janae said, mainly in our community, because education wasn't heavily enforced. I am from the south side of Chicago, and I have come across men who is illiterate, but who has street smarts.
Yeah, that's the same.
Sometimes I would rather have a man with damn street smarts than a man with book smarts, because if he got street smarts, that means he got common sense and some shit go down. He know how to handle himself and he knows how to handle the situation, as opposed to a person that's just got book smarts. They're going to try to want to go by the book to do this, and you got to say, fuck all that. Sometimes skip over that and jump in these, whatever you got to do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? And he has no clue as to how that works because his life hasn't been that. And then you have a lot of people that look down on people because of that. But if you put them both, you put a book smart man and a street smart and a man with common sense, both of those tools in a street situation, that person that's so educated gonna be fucking lost.
True.
Gonna be lost. Because in the streets, it's the survival of the fittest. You know what I'm saying? You got to get out here. You got to think. You got to be smart, and you got to always stay 10 steps ahead of a person.
Yeah. I agree.
Because and you're trying to go by the book on everything, and this is the right way to do it, and you done fucked around and let some stuff pass you by, or you done got wham and going about your day, and then you sitting there looking crazy.
Right. But that's true.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I'd rather somebody that got both.
I'm fortunate enough to have all three, like you ladies. We got book smart, street smarts, and common sense. So that's a triple threat, and it's a blessing to have them all.
But
for real,
I can say this though. A lot of stuff. If I don't know, I just don't damn know. Like I just be like, I don't understand. Even like if I'm going to get a job, like like for instance, I'm training a class right now. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Excuse my language. I don't know what I'm doing. I be sitting there like looking, and I'm like, okay, I'm not getting this. This ain't registering. It don't make me stupid. It just mean I don't understand what the hell I'm doing, and I don't feel no dumb. I just be like, I don't get it. Like we're gonna have to slow this down. Because if I got to stand up and teach this, and you telling me to teach it, I'm comprehending, but I just ain't. I'm not receiving it. Whatever it is, it ain't. And I told you that's I can't get it. I done looked at it. I done turned it upside down. I'm supposed to train this, and I don't know how to train these people. It doesn't make me stupid. I just can't. I ain't catching on. Period.
Right.
Some people, when it comes to learning, they don't learn. Like everybody don't learn in the same group. You know what I mean? Some people learn different from other people. So
go ahead and finish what you had to say, Janae. Yeah, she still ain't gave me my $50 yet, Orlando.
I'm blocking you from my page for bringing that up. Do you know we was getting past this? We already worked this $50 out, and here you go. Yeah, you
Uh-huh.
pay this girl her $50 so I can stop hearing about this $50.
Uh-huh. Well, go ahead and cash up that. See, look, cash up that, sis.
I mean,
Go
just
ahead,
get out of
sis.
my head because I'm ahead on this podcast because everybody know about it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so people got to stop being so judgmental.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you don't know why a person does or don't do the things that they do. That's even with us. You
Hmm.
know what I'm
Right.
saying? Just everybody don't move to the beat of somebody else's drum. I move to the beat of my own.
But
So
is it right for you to call somebody stupid because they don't know how to read and you don't know their situation?
no, no
Because stupid is not because of what like
illiteracy.
literacy. Stupid is of something you do.
Mhm.
Right.
Something you do can be stupid. Stupid is not. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, he's stupid." That was stupid that he did. And
Mhm.
that stupid is not. It's not regards to literacy to me.
It's
That's
a
how I
it's an
feel.
act, right?
It's
I
an
get it.
act. It's
Or
something that you're
action.
doing. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah, I agree
stupid.
with that.
So
Well, shit, you got a lot of smart people that's just stupid, and you mean
Yeah.
that in every sense of the word.
they do some
Um,
stupid crap. Like
Alma
how you
said,
gonna be
Yeah.
this smart and do this stupid damn thing that you did?
Right.
Alma
Right.
said, book smart, street smart, and common sense. V, don't forget humility. You ladies are
Of
humble as well.
course.
Of course.
Thank you, Abba.
Thank you, baby. And it's nice to see you back on the cast, Alma. We miss you when you're gone. We don't see that ABA. We always looking for you, honey, especially since we've been trying to figure out who you are. You're like the mystery man on the podcast. Like we're dying to figure out who Alba is and what part of the world he comes in on. But we got love for you, honey. But yeah, I think it just depends on the person. I mean, after you with a guy for about a month, you gonna figure out some stuff about him. You're gonna be like, okay, this one right here might not be the best block. He might
None.
not be the smartest on the block, but he got some things going on
Come on.
that makes sense.
Would you date a man if he was rich and illiterate but didn't want to learn how to read? She talk about I'm too grammatical for that. No.
That's
My
a no.
daughter.
Nanny's a no. How can I tell you that
Uh
when you ask her? No.
Well, them youngsters,
she said
the
she
younger
she said
generation, they
she
look
said
for
she
that.
yeah, she said she texts too much for that.
And
With
but that's
punctuate
another
with
thing.
proper English and proper punctuations and all that. Be like, what the hell she got going on? And then they
Even
text you
texting
back and say,
though.
what's that dot for?
Yeah, some people texting it. Texting has become like the new way of communication for kids. They don't
I
even
don't
write
like
words
texting
anymore. They
like
be like
that.
little short abbreviations, little things that I can't comprehend some of that stuff. I hate fucking texting. I'm telling you that right now. I
I
can't stand it.
rather
Don't text me.
Me, I do.
pick up the
I
phone,
can't.
call
That
somebody. I
that
can't do
that
all that
texting
texting.
crappy.
Texting takes too much out of my
'Cause I
day.
can't see.
Not even that, I can't see, but it's all that I can't shorthand. I'd be like, what are they trying to say? And then it sounds so aggressive, and they might not even be saying nothing mean, but you done interpreted it a whole other way. Like, what is
But
what he
that's
trying to
another
say?
thing. I'm glad you said that, and it's still off topic too. How do people tell you? I could tell by your text that you got an attitude. How the hell can you tell in somebody's tone in a text or email?
Because it
Bold,
sounds a certain kind of way. It's just like, okay, we
bold
do this,
letters.
we do this. You might say something. I'll be like, don't be yelling at me. You'll be like, but I wasn't yelling. I'm not gonna. It looked that way when it came across my screen.
You do that to me all the time.
I do. I
And I'll be
do.
like, what the hell you talking about? How you know I got attitude in the text?
I'd be
That's
like, you
just
sound like you
crazy.
mad. You'd be like, I ain't mad, but it's how it's received. Like someone could be saying something or trying to come off, and when they're yelling, they cap it, right? They get the caps on it and they make it real
Uh,
big. That's when somebody screaming in a text. But then there's people who text like that. They always text in caps. In a corporate world, you can't or you throw caps. You had a whole corporate world coming down on you, going like, "Why are
uh,
you yelling in this email?" But that's how we text. That's how I can tell when Jalen or Ryan is saying something that they want me to hear because they get bigger and smaller with them words. And
what's
I'd be like, "Okay,
that?
who yelling at? Who we talking to here?" Men break up with women in text messages because they're cowards and they don't want to call you and say, I'm done. I don't want to be bothered. They'll say, well, this ain't working out. And it's this long thing that you got going on here. Honey, talk to me. Tell me.
Orlando said, "Do you have a pet bear, Miss No?"
That is Miss
Yeah,
Antoinette
I do.
she got over
I
there.
have an
It
English
sounded
bulldog.
huge, honey.
No, it's nice. The prettiest little thing, but it's fat. I read that one.
It's an English bulldog.
Okay. But what was you saying, Shelley?
No, but I think people have went away from reading, and I hate to say that because how many parents like actually tell their kid to sit down and read a book? How
Oh
many
no.
parents take the time to,
Rarely.
kids be running these streets, they out dating, they out doing this, that, and the third. They're very seldom sitting there going, I want to pick this book up. It's a good one in the library today.
Yeah.
Because we don't enforce it. We don't be like, you need to
I'm a
know what
movie
now.
person now.
Yeah, my
You know,
daughter used to read a lot when she was younger, but shoot,
yeah,
you
it's
tell
like
her pick up a book now.
you'd be like, no, like little Harper, she has to because she has the time. She has a time that she gotta learn. She ain't got no choice. She got to sit down and read
But see,
something.
now is the time where it's fundamental because their brains are like sponges at their age,
Right.
Hmm.
and they pick up everything. Like Miss was saying that you at our age now, it's hard to learn any language because you just don't absorb shit the way you want used to, and it doesn't sound the way it used to sound to you, so it's harder to pick it up.
Right, right,
Hmm.
right. But you got to teach these kids from young because the average kid, and it's sad in high school, and it's sad to say the average black kid goes through the whole of high school and they probably don't even know they ain't even passing English. They just
But then they pass them because the teacher's trying to get them out
because
the
the
way and
teacher
out of the
push
classroom.
them out the door. They don't care if you
Yeah.
pass the classes. They don't care. They just want you out their class and out. And then they get on that stage. They walk across. They go into society, and then they're a mess because they don't know how to function. And then that puts them back in the street. And then we don't have fathers that are being fathers. We have fathers that are acting like the children. We have the fathers that are being the
Or
thugs like the
or
children.
or friends with the mama with the
Mhm.
son, and the mama done made him her man.
I mean, it's a whole bunch of dynamics that comes in this stuff, and sometimes you got to look at the men. You might not have to know how to read, but can you teach a child how to go out and mow grass though? Can you teach them how to change a tire on a car? Can you teach them how to treat a lady? These things are still important, even if you don't know how to daggone read.
Right?
Mm-mm-mm.
But a
More
lot of the
important
stuff
to
has
me.
changed.
More important to me. I think a
Hmm.
lot of other skills is more important because you can not read, don't know how to treat no damn body.
Amen.
Exactly.
Selfish as hell. Don't
You
want to
better
share
say it
nothing with
again.
me. You could be my damn man
Selfish.
and your ass is selfish and you know how to count that damn money, you know how to read everything and write all kind of stuff. But guess what? You don't want to do jack for me. You ain't trying to share nothing with me. You ain't trying to help me. You ain't trying to provide for me. And you're scary as hell. You're gonna push me in front of the damn door when a
I
robber come in.
I don't like no selfish ass man.
Oh,
Yeah,
Selfish
it's
oh.
people.
not that.
Period.
Some people that's just
Selfish
selfish.
people.
It's just
Yeah.
selfish. They can't help it. It's just some people that are
Yeah.
stingy. They tell you
Yeah.
about everything they got. Every time they talk to you, they tell you what they own, have, the kind of car they drive, and they don't give nobody nothing. They ain't helping
Well, I
nobody.
don't
It's
want to hear that
up
shit.
an
Now, I say if
hour.
you want to talk to yourself, talk about yourself, you can be talking to yourself.
It is like the
You got
ultimate
all this, and
though.
what you gonna do for me? Where do I fit in? Oh, me, and what I
Uh
have.
huh.
What the hell we gonna do? How we gonna make this
Exactly.
work? How we gonna build together? What we gonna do?
Right.
Yeah. Alba said these whippersnappers have their own languages, replacing words with letters and eliminating effing, I'm not going to say it, effing vowels in every sentence drives me up a wall. Oh, yeah. Drives
Oh
me crazy too.
gosh.
I be fussing all the time. Like, what does this mean? Because I don't understand half that shorthand, honey. I'd be like, I don't know what this is saying.
I don't think nobody. I don't
I
think
mean,
they
you think
know.
about it now.
I don't
A
think
lot
they
of
know what they be
times
doing.
now, you have apps that correct you. You could write everything wrong and just go back and click, right click, fix it, right click. So you don't even really got to learn how to spell. Nowadays, you think when we grew up in school, we learned how to do cursive writing. They don't even teach cursive writing no more in school.
Mm-mm.
Jalen has no idea how to write cursive at all. Like he never learned it
They
in
don't
school.
teach it in schools no more.
Nope, they never learned it. And I'd be like, you don't know? He'd be like, Mom, we don't write like that. I never did that. But he's smart as hell. He's in the highest of math. He's in the highest of English. But he'd be like, when you tell Jalen to write something in some cursive letters, Jalen would be like, do what? You want me to do what?
Um,
Mm-hmm.
He never learned it in school. He don't know nothing about that. They didn't teach it
Don't
to
have
him.
a clue.
And you can't
That's
say you can't say he's dumb. They just never showed him how to do it. And
right.
nowadays, now in school academically, each school they have a certain amount of time to teach a kid something during that quarter, and they cram it into their brain. They don't care if you got it. They don't care if you know how to do it, as long as they cram that part. Because the teachers told me that. She was like, she said, Miss Francis, we got to teach these kids fast. They only give us this much block to teach them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and it's sad. It's really sad, but it is what it is.
that's
Right.
crazy.
Oh yeah, so we have come upon our hour as it goes by very fast when the topic is great. We thank everybody for coming on. And let me see, I'm going to read this last one. I don't know what they said. I wonder why. I wonder why they stopped teaching cursive. I don't know, Orlando, but they completely took it out of the school system. They
They
don't
said
teach
there
it.
was no need for it. They said that most they don't use it that
That's right,
often,
because you
and
do
that
teach. I forgot you do teach. I
yes,
forgot about that. So yes, Miss No would know more about that, y'all.
yeah, they said it's not needed. They said most in the industry they don't use it,
Right.
so it's like more of a waste of time teaching it.
But you think about it like this, and I'm gonna say this so we can get off. But you think about half the stuff they teach you in school, you don't use when you get out of school.
Mm-mm.
A lot of this stuff is just wasted energy. You think math you're gonna need, English you're gonna need, but you think about
Mm-hmm.
like social studies and science and learning about the
Mm-hmm.
layers of the world and the layers of the earth. Where you going? Unless you're gonna be a scientist, where you gonna need that at though? I ask that all the time because I always want to know like where are we really gonna need that to say we need this. Okay, Jerry, you wrote something very long, and that's a lot. Look, it's a lot. Okay. I took up the whole screen. You said Waka Flocka Flame was illiterate.
Oh,
I hope I'm saying his name right. Oh no, Janae said it. She said Waka Flocka. Is it Waka Flocka? Waka Flocka?
Yeah, Waka
Waka
Flocka.
Flocka.
Waka Flocka Flame was illiterate. In the beginning of his career, he was asked to read a teleprompter on a wall. I cannot even see this on a well-known radio show or on live TV, and was embarrassed. And he embarrassed himself. After this, the team and his wife identified his illiteracy that encouraged him to seek knowledge, educate. Long, short story. This man graduated with a PhD last year. I said that to say maybe a person's perceived as he is comfortable being illiterate because he is stubborn or I'm reading this like I'm illiterate because it's really small, and he stubborn or has an attitude when discussing his illiteracy. Okay, that was really small and hard to read for me, like really really little on my screen. I get it. I mean, I get it that people probably do hide certain things about them. So I don't think anybody will ever be comfortable saying I can't read. Like I don't think that's the answer. I don't think no guy you go meet gonna come out and say, "Oh, I can't read." That's something you're gonna have to learn when you're with him in time. Like, okay, he can't read.
Right.
That's not something somebody's just gonna tell you.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think not even man or woman. I'm just gonna say both. No one's just gonna come out and be like, "Oh, you know what? I can't read." Not off the top of their head because they already know you're gonna judge them. The average person's going to judge you and say, "What? You can't read?" But your first reaction is gonna be that you're gonna be like, "Huh? You 34 years old, you 27, and you can't read nothing." Come on now, let's just be 100. That don't roll over very well. You tell me that when you 3 months in, and then I might be like, okay, well I love you now. You don't have to. I'll teach you how to read. I'll tell you some words, the ones you need to know. He said, okay, that's understandable. Not sure what you're talking about, Orlando. Janae said, wait. Um, Jerry said, great conversation, ladies. Thank you, Jerry. Orlando said, we're living in social studies events right now. Impeachment. Yes, we are. But like I said, a lot of these things that we do in school, these kids learn. Even Jalen said sometimes, he'd be like, "Mom, why I gotta learn this? I ain't never gonna use this in school. Like I know math, I know my English." He said all the time, "Why am I learning about this?" And he don't like it, but he passed it. I couldn't tell him where he's ever gonna use it in his life, but it's what they teach you. And you got to pass it to get out of school. You got to pass it to go to college. So, anywho, y'all, it's been fabulous, great. It's been a great show. B hung in here, y'all. She's getting better. She's getting better. Miss N.O., it's been fabulous having you on today.
Thank you,
Please
Thank
come
you
guys.
for
back
coming
again
in
and join
tonight.
us. It was great. And thank you to our co-audience. Thank you for rocking with us and following us. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. As we always tell you, we can see y'all porting in from YouTube. Thank you for those who do follow instructions. And they need to start teaching and educating financial literacy. Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
But y'all can still
definitely.
comment. We do go back and read this stuff after the show. We tend to go on and look. Thank you once again for joining us. This is Shelly Live, V Lovebird, and Miss N.O., and we are officially out of here. Mwah.
Michelle.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuned into Naughty or Nice. Let's go.
Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal.
Shelly
Me don't want no fake love,
and
me only want the real deal.
Have you ever met a sister with her shit together? Maintaining, never complaining, trying to make shit better. She's got a real good life with the right frame of mind. She's the real deal, baby, and she know how to grind. On the job or in the bedroom, baby, the truth. And with her by your side, homeboy, you can't lose. She slip on the dress and go to work like a pro. Then bring that ass home and drop it down to the floor. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's a lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's the lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets.
Shelly lied and be lovebird.
Shelly live and be lovebird.
Shelly lied and be lovebird.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Shelly lied and be lovebird.
Shelly live and be lovebird.
Shelly lied and be lovebird.
Tamika, you still on live, baby.